George Street Playhouse is a theater in New Brunswick, New Jersey in the city's Civic Square Government and Theater District. It is one of the state's preeminent professional theaters committed to the production of new and established plays. Under the leadership of artistic director David Saint and managing director Kelly Ryman, George Street Playhouse is a nationally recognized proscenium theater, presenting an acclaimed mainstage season while providing an artistic home for established and emerging theater artists. Founded in 1974 by Eric Krebs, the Playhouse has been represented by numerous productions both on and off Broadway. Recent productions include Louis Black's One Slight to Hitch, and the world premiere productions of Victoria Stewart's Rich Girl, Gettin' the Band Back Together, and Joe DiPietro's Clever Little Lies. The Tony Award and Pulitzer Prize-winning play Proof by David Auburn was developed at GSP during the 1999 Next Stage series of new plays. In addition to its main stage season, GSP's touring theater features 5 issue-oriented productions that tours to more than 250 schools in the tri-state area, and are seen by more than 80,000 students annually. When founded, the theater was located on George Street and moved later to its current location on Livingston Avenue. Production history: 1994. Swinging on a Star, a review of the works of Johnny Burke, premieres at GSP, then moves to Broadway. 1996. And Then They Came for Me. Remembering the World of Anne Frank is commissioned by GSP for the touring theatre company and is subsequently produced worldwide. 2000. Down the Garden Paths by Anne Meara, directed by David Saint and starring Eli Wallach and Ann Jackson, premieres at GSP and moves to Off-Broadway. Syncopation by Alan Nee, which premiered at GSP in 1999, receives Best New Play award from the American Theatre Critics Association and opens around the country. The Spitfire Grill, a new musical by James Valcq and Fred Daly and directed by David Saint, premieres at GSP and moves to Off-Broadway. Ancestral Voices by A.R. Gurney, directed by David Saint and starring among others Tim Daly, Amy Van Nostrand, Paul Rudd and Fred Savage. 2001. All box office records in the history of GSP are broken, with Lady Day at Emerson's Bar and Grill starring Suzanne Douglas as Billie Holiday. Venetia by George Ekem, adapted and directed by Arthur Lawrence starring Chita Rivera. 2004. Arthur Lawrence updates and directs his Tony Award-winning musical Hallelujah, Baby, starring Ann Duquesne and Suzanne Douglas. Following an acclaimed run at George Street Playhouse, the co-production moved to Arena Stage in Washington, D.C. Miss Duquesne is awarded the Helen Hayes Award for her performance. Academy Award nominee Amy Irving stars in the world premiere of Charles Everard's period romp Celadine. Wasted by Obie Award winner Kirsten Childs premieres. This play about substance abuse was funded with a major grant from the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation. 2005. Inspecting Carol, a comedy by Daniel Sullivan from the Seattle Repertory Theater, starring Dan Lauria and Peter Scolari, becomes the highest-grossing play at GSP. The West Wing's Richard Schiff stars in Underneath the Lintel, a play by Glenn Berger, sets a new record for per-performance attendance. 2006. Jack Klugman stars in The Value of Names by Jeffrey Sweet with Dan Lauria and Liz Larson. 2007. Artistic director David Saint celebrates his 10th anniversary season with the opening of The Sunshine Boys starring Jack Klugman and Paul Dooley. Rosemary Harris stars in Oscar and the Lady in Pink by Eric Emanuel Schmidt, directed by Frank Dunlop. 2008. Tony Award winner Idina Menzel performs a one-night-only solo concert as the opening of her I Stand tour. Roger is Dead, a new play written and directed by Elaine May with Marlo Thomas debuts. 2009. Come Back, Wherever You Are, world premiere written and directed by Arthur Lawrence with Shirley Knight. 2010. Kathleen Marshall directs the musical Calvin Berger. 2011. David Hyde Pierce directs the musical It Should Have Been You, written by Brian Hargrove and Barbara Anselmi, starring Tyne Daly, Harriet Harris, Edward Hibbert, Richard Klein, and Howard McGillen, read with Bob Ari and Randy Harrison.